View.
What did you want to use as the cold open?
Brian Burke not liking the Canucks pick by claiming it's a small body.
Oh, it's not truculent enough?
Yeah, I felt really good about the pick when they made it, and if it was possible to feel twice as good about it 15 seconds later, when Brian Burke didn't like it, I knew I was onto something.
Oh, we get a lot of shots. Everybody come to their net. We just have to get more and more pucks to their net.
What were you saying about putting pucks on net?
Pucks on net.
Pucks on net.
Continue to put pucks on net.
Pucks on net.
Well, that's the key. We got to get the puck on net.
We used to talk about in Vancouver getting pucks on net.
Pucks on net and driving and making it a hard night on them.
5 long years.
So live on tape from Geeta's apartment, or palatial estate on the 23rd floor. This is Pucks on Net, a Vancouver hockey podcast. Doesn't talk about fantasy or fancy stats. We're recording this podcast about over an hour late because of some horrible, disgusting, less than reputable service at Meat in Yaletown.
We waited an hour to be served our food.
It's not even like they cook it.
No.
It's vegan.
Well, you gotta cook food, long enough. But yeah, there's nothing in there.
No, I got a salad. Not a salad I didn't order.
It was a very traumatic experience. I was walking here 2 hours before hungry.
They promised us free dessert as well, and that never came. And then Geeta asked for a side of their faux chicken with her salad, and it never showed up. And
although one of the dumber things I've ever said, which comes on a very regular basis, is like, this is supposed to be a chicken Caesar salad. And I'm like, that's meat. You'll look like an idiot if you ask for that.
And I was like, no, she wants the chicken with an apostrophe.
Yeah. Chicken or whatever it is. But it was the chicken Caesar salad. That was what was on the menu. And
they brought her this kale monstrosity.
Yeah, that's what I got. I got some kale salad. And I just ate it because we were an hour late.
So long story short, kids who are listening to this, Geeta at this moment of recording is still hungry.
Yeah.
Kind of. Dave and I are going back for our dessert.
We're going to go get some ice cream post-show. I'm going to take her out for ice cream. And this was an injustice that just will not stand.
I'm coming back overnight because I don't have a job, and I'm going to egg the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's really going to send a message.
That's your role. That's a good role. I like that for you.
But on a positive note, we none of us are bloated.
No, we look great.
No, I feel great. I can go up for a jog right now.
I was up for a jog earlier.
Yeah, how was that?
Seawall. Got to wear a lot of sunscreen.
I've always kind of wondered what people do during the week when they're not working.
If you exercise a lot.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little like lethargic these days. I'm getting desk ass.
For those listening, I'm going to describe Dave. His buttons have the hardest working job in show business here. They're about to fly off and take us out by the eye.
Off his Tommy Bahama shirt.
Pew, pew, pew. Yeah, my new boxy Tommy Bahama. I'm embracing my mid 30s.
They're all lies. He looks great.
My Nike Monarchs.
Wait, why not New Balance?
Oh no, that's for chumps. That's for those non-detached home dads.
Well, hang on.
We're millennials. It's always going to be be an attached home.
Thanks for listening to us wherever you got us from.
Make sure you follow us on Twitter at PucksOnNCA or PucksNetCa. That's the sound Geeta's pretend chicken didn't make.
That's her rumbling tummy because it's still empty.
And regardless of that whether she got it or not, that faux chicken would have cost her a couple of bucks.
Couple of bucks for chicken.
As would you going over to patreon.com/pucksonnet to get all your bonus stuff. 5 minutes for paying will be later. We've already used up all our good material while we were moderately upset with the service at Meat in Yaletown.
So
don't let the pretty girls in half shirts fool you. The service sucks.
Her shirt was held together with safety pins.
Yeah.
She's so punk.
I didn't notice.
We're not here. Hey, we're not here to safety pin shame. And go leave a.
That's the Meat on Yaletown.
And go leave a 5-star review on iTunes. Help us out.
But leave a terrible Yelp review for Meat.
Maybe she was new.
No, I've seen her in there before. I remember her.
Maybe they were understaffed.
Maybe, I don't know. It was pretty busy in there.
Busy.
Trying to play devil's advocate
The sun
here.
is out, so the patio just gets bigger.
Yeah, until it's like, and then there was there's all those nerdy jazz white people around because it's a jazz festival. See all those idiots dancing? You see them all dancing?
We did.
White people love that shit.
I think my proclamation was, I never get invited to anything fun in Yaletown.
You said cool, and I'm like, you think that's
I don't think
cool?
you need an invite for that. I think that's like the shitty free thing to do for the
I
jazz
don't.
festival.
Come on in, guys.
You just go over there and do that knee bend thing
I
that
feel
people
like
do
there's
and wave their
secret
hand.
things going on in Yaletown that people just exclude me for
Have you
because
ever-
I'm working in Surrey.
The weirdest thing I ever got invited to in Yaletown was when I was working at MPC, and I got invited to an Art Attack event where it's like a rap battle, but it's people painting. You want to talk about stupid and pointless?
What one?
I get how to use. It's so subjective.
Like a painting of a fat.
I think-
your mom is so fat joke.
No,
Like,
that
It's
law.
like, it's like I throw paint on the canvas and then you come along and smear something.
but they do it like a battle
Fat.
rap where
Yeah.
you would throw something in canvas and they would go ho, and then I would just imprint my hand like
Yeah.
finger painting. They'd go whoa, but there's also wine and cheese.
Yeah.
Oh, that's.
But
gonna
no, like
blow
I
you.
really went to this, and it was like the stupidest thing ever. The girl that won it, she did this like acrobatic thing where she was suspended from the ceiling by like cloth,
Yeah.
Like pink?
like Pink the singer.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Okay.
And she painted upside down.
Was the pink cloth? Was the cloth pink?
No, I don't remember. But that's like the girl who I invited
Yeah.
me. That I worked with
Oh,
her.
okay.
Can I? Before we talk
But
about
that was
hockey,
pretty stupid.
my foray into local culture and arts. Do you remember at the opening ceremonies of the 2010 Winter Olympics where there was that large rotund fellow that was like
The slam poet.
the slam poet with the neck beard, the
Yeah.
milady? Hey, we don't. I take that back. He might not be a milady,
Oh, that guy's a milady.
but he was at. We were at a.
He yelled at Geeta last week and then held her hand for an hour. He's a milady.
He was wearing a fedora at the time. He was at a.
Sounds so familiar.
He was at a party.
Next week on Dump on Chicks.
Wait, you guys were there for that?
You guys are there for all of them.
He was at a party on Halloween, and I went out as a communist, where I
What does that mean?
Yeah, what does that look like?
I have a raccoon skin hat,
Yeah.
which I bought on our TV tour. I tucked the tail in,
Oh.
so it looks like the Russian
Okay.
hat.
Okay.
And I bought a hammer sickle scarf at Bang On before we on a TV tour as well. And I popped the 3D glasses out of the frames, and so I wore a green button-up shirt, and I went as a communist.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, thank you.
Aw.
Errol went as the who I was partying with that night. He went as the Boston Red Sox bullpen. And
all of them?
No, it was when they got in trouble for playing
For
video games
in the clubhouse.
and eating fried chicken in the clubhouse.
Okay.
So we took my broken Xbox controller and taped it to one hand, and we took a piece of leftover chicken and taped it to the other hand, and he wore a Red Sox jersey. And it was these are timely costumes.
Okay.
Communism, Red Sox. Anyway, the slam poet.
It's like when I went to Halloween as Monica Lewinsky.
And then the year after.
And the year after, I went as Monica Lewinsky again.
Like, put the blue dress away, Dave.
I know.
He looks really good in it.
You know how much mayo I had to buy to get the stain just right?
So
I'm just kidding. I use semen.
the slam poet was there. And I was really drunk. And everybody was like oohing and ahhing about him because it had just happened.
Yeah.
And in the slam poetry, he called Commercial Drive Little Italy, so it would rhyme. And I was really drunk. I'm like, man, you're pretty good, except why did you call it Little Italy? It's Commercial Drive. Like, we're on Commercial Drive. Why would you do something like that? And he was like he would not respond well to that. I'm like, you should have called it Commercial Drive. And I just walked off. I had my moment with him.
Anyway, hockey.
Yeah, 2 more weeks of hockey.
Ugh.
Wait, did you do all your plugging?
Yeah, you
iTunes, yeah.
Stitcher, Pucks on
Sure. Okay.
Beer League, Craft Lager. Oh, sorry,
Yada
that's a
yada
different-
yada.
that's a
Paul McClellan couldn't be here tonight.
I mean, we don't know. We'll fit him in.
We'll fit him in. He's on standby.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about how Dougie Hamilton got traded for the second time in his career.
Already.
Okay. He's
and
26.
he's 25.
Oh.
He's young.
That does not
And-
smell.
and-
3 teams on a guy that young. That does not
Also-
smell good.
Also, everything that you read about him is that he's so nice.
He's such a nice guy. He loves dancing. That was his hidden favorite thing
Okay.
when the Flames interviewed him. But
He goes to museums instead of the bar.
yeah, that's last last questionable trade was Domi and Galchenyuk, and the French media was like, Alex Galchenyuk's on the phone with his father every day, and it's a troublesome relationship. It's like he basically describes the Nazem Kadri.
Yeah, in between periods, apparently he was on the phone with his dad.
Yeah, so like they'll put something out there, say it's a good reason. So when
a lot of these players are really attached to their dads.
well, yeah, there are dads.
Yeah.
They're gonna be there for the dad strip.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
Not me.
Not dad. Not dad.
That's not what I mean. I'm talking about the ones that are cut from the Eric Lindros mold.
Most dads live vicariously through their sons.
Oh, they play that Tom Cochran song on their truck over and over and over that their son bought for them. That F-150 that they all had to shell out with that first paycheck. I'm not kidding. That's probably the most commonly bought like truck for your dad out of all the players.
The house, but that's for mom, and the truck's
got
for
a
dad.
house for mom, and I got a new F-150 for dad.
Mom left, dad didn't like the truck.
We used the truck to get something new, you know. So yeah, Dougie Hamilton, 44. Let's go by the numbers. He's got 44 points. He was a plus player in Calgary in a down year.
I put some bold there because he was the highest scoring defenseman, goal scorer in the NHL last year.
Wow. Micheal Ferland, surprisingly high numbers for a guy who doesn't skate that well, 21 and 20 with 41, but he's playing with Johnny Gaudreau.
He's Louis Eriksson it?
He's successful. He's Patty Barooning.
Oh, I'm sorry. He's Louis Eriksson it when Louis Eriksson was in Boston.
Yes. Noah Hanifin, you're getting 32 points and only 10 goals and a minus 20.
He's an RFA.
And Elias Lindholm, very similar numbers to Micheal Ferland and a minus 8. So
another RFA. There's also a prospect in Adam Fox who's a
throw in
college guy.
So fucking cage league, whatever. So
starring in the Birdcage.
Hamilton is 25 and he's got 44 points and 17 goals and is a plus player.
Yeah.
So really, the best case scenario is that Hanifin turns into Dougie Hamilton.
That's right. But
you have Dougie Hamilton now.
Yeah, the mystery box comes into play here.
And Lindholm, like, he's not physical. He's okay. Ferland is a banger. He's something different. I feel like they have Lindholms on that team already, and like Michael Frolik and Backlund.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The internet said that Hanifin and Lindholm are better than Hamilton and Ferland.
I think the ceiling, the potential ceiling is higher.
The internet.
Yes.
Like what, Thomas Drance and Deeren said that? Fuck off. Anyway.
I read it in a local newspaper.
Every time I say something that I think Paul won't like, I get a tick.
Yeah.
That was one of the ticks.
Anyway, what the problem...
Yeah, the local internet sleuths.
The way Calgary is spinning it, the media is like, he didn't fit into the team culture. He didn't fit in.
Okay, and what the fuck is the team culture?
I don't know. If I got a defenseman who's like setting me up with nice apples and getting 44 points and getting my power play running, I think that's fitting him pretty good.
So, by all accounts, I don't think Calgary did very good last year.
They were supposed to be, but it was that damn Connor McDavid's fault.
Yeah, and dinner was supposed to be really good tonight, too.
Yeah, the Calgary Flames were meeting yells.
I still think it's a different outlook for Calgary if they had... Like, it shows that the backup goalie position is a real thing.
Oh, God,
They had to play old man Mike Smith so much. We talked about it last week. They have, like, a decent backup in there who can handle 25 or 30 games.
Right.
They probably make the playoffs.
Yeah, and now
this trade doesn't happen.
And it's what's funny is they traded like 3 or 4, like a shitload of picks for Travis Hamonic, and then there are rumors that even he was being shopped.
Yes, I heard that
to
as well.
get some picks in for.
Well, they had no draft picks.
Yeah.
I think
all those picks that we gave you for this guy, can we have some of them back?
Anybody that knows hockey really well and has worked in the game will tell you the same thing, that Brad Treliving is one of the nicest people you will ever meet in your life. That's all I've ever heard about the guy, the GM of the Flames, that he's like the nicest man. He'll give you the shirt off his back, but that doesn't mean that you're necessarily good at your job. You look at his track record. He inherited a coach, Bob Hartley.
Yeah.
And then he fucking canned him. He hired Gully. That didn't work. He fucking canned him. Then he didn't interview Bill Peters at all.
He just said, "Hey, Bill.
Yeah, hey, Bill, you got a job. You got a job.
Hey, Bill, you got any guys in Carolina that you like that? Because, I mean, that's where it came from."
So, and now we've got this trade. He got the goaltending situation.
Is he scapegoating?
No, he's just not good at his job.
Yeah, but like other people are taking the fall for him.
Yeah, but I think what I'm saying is I think that there's no more people left to fall for him. If they get off to like a slow start next year, if they're like kind of like playing 500 baseball, that's it.
Yeah.
Because he has, I guess like I'm being long-winded about it, but what I'm saying is there's no direction in Calgary. There's no plan. And this trade is a fugazi. It's fake. It's
well,
like,
and
oh,
that's
I'm
the
getting,
thing.
yeah.
They took players off another team that has no direction.
They also need to sign those players.
Yeah. Yeah, they're RFAs, aren't they?
Like they are both RFAs.
But Geeta's made a good point. Neither of these teams know what they're doing, and now they're interacting with each other, which is bad.
It's like all those those Florida Panther Canuck trades.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we'll take that David Booth guy, sure.
12-17, never forget.
So the big spin they're doing right now.
July 1st, that Hammond guy is going to end up in Vancouver.
Oh, yeah.
Which guy?
The one from Ottawa.
Andrew Hammond?
Yeah.
We don't. Why would we want to sign Andrew Hammond?
Though they brought back Dick Bachman.
Yeah.
They let him leave, and now he's back.
Did he ever leave?
Paul said, I usually trust Paul's word for gospel, and he said that he would sign somewhere in a league in Europe. But,
he's got a pretty good gig there in the Utica because he gets paid like the max.
Yeah, and could get called up. It's a two-way deal. But they phrased it oddly in the press release where it was like, welcome, not welcome back. Like it was very
welcome back.
Welcome. But
would you rather a Calder Cup or a Calder Trophy?
Yeah, he's a Calder Cup guy, but I like Richard Bachman because, and it's weird. There's very few of them left, but this used to be a real job, the professional third string goalie, where he'll go down and he'll play half the game so the new kid doesn't get overwhelmed,
right? And
you don't have to burn your new kid's potential and training by calling him up when there's an injury because you just call up Dick Bachman.
Yeah,
and he's a third string goalie that, like, if the Canucks had to start him in a game, you wouldn't necessarily say, oh, well, we're going to lose.
Well, they're going to
win.
They're going to lose, but it's not because of the goaltending; it's because of the defense.
He's a professional goalie. That's my best way to describe Richard Bachman. Professional goalie.
He gets paid to be a goalie in a professional league.
Yeah,
professional goalie.
That's
Richard Bachman.
That's all most people can aspire for.
He'd be a great podcast guest if we could get him.
Well, he's probably seen a lot. He's probably heard a lot. He's
seen it a lot, heard a lot, done a lot.
Yeah. Well, any backup goalie like that's just sit there.
They're usually pretty good shits.
They take in the most. That and the goons.
Yeah. Okay. That might be something for down the line.
I'll work on. Okay, Dick Bachman, professional goaltender. Dick Bachman.
We're here on the line with professional goalie Dick Bachman.
Dick, can you confirm this for us? Are you getting? Are the paychecks that you're getting in the mail? Those are clearing for what you're for playing goaltending? That's all right. Thanks for calling in. All right, that's Dick Bachman.
So
hang on. Before the thing with Dougie Hamilton is he's been traded twice, and both of the same reasons or both of the same trades. Both of the trades have similar stink around them. Mm-hmm. So in Calgary, they're the media saying like, oh, he wasn't a team guy. He kept to himself, and on the road, when the team would all go to Moxie's, he'd go to a museum.
What a weirdo.
Not that he was a problem in the dressing room or he didn't like his teammates. It was he didn't do everything with his teammates.
Yeah.
He stayed in his room in Vegas instead of going to Crazy Girls and getting all banged up.
But then you bring Vegas because I read this today, when he was traded from the Boston Bruins, what happened right before was the whole team went on a team trip to Vegas.
Yeah.
2 players didn't go. Dougie Hamilton and Riley Smith.
Okay.
And Riley Smith got dealt to Florida and turned into a pretty damn good player in Vegas. And Dougie Hamilton just scored the more goals than any defenseman in the NHL last year.
Okay.
So let's trade him for a guy who might turn into him.
Yeah, if we're lucky, you're going to be Dougie Hamilton. But we can't have Dougie because we think that he might not be a team guy.
And here's the thing about the other part of the trade, too, is Micheal Ferland is a Canuck fan. Mm-hmm. I am always aware where Micheal Ferland is when he's on the ice because he's a good, like, he scores 20 goals a year. It's like 2 years in a row he's been around that mark. But also he's kind of terrifying.
Yeah, he's what you want in a hockey player.
He can hit, and he's a little bit of a loose cannon. But if you can have that with skill, why would you just take another skill guy? You're taking a player who's got 2 elements that you want for a guy who's got half the tools.
It's funny.
Sure, the upside is higher, but
I'm thinking that the GMs in Calgary and in Edmonton are really similar because in Calgary they're going, well, we already have Matthew Tkachuk. We can't have 2 guys that can play tough. And in Edmonton it was, well, we've already got a Connor McDavid, so let's just trade all these forwards for stuff we need.
Well,
and Ferland's going to bomb in Carolina because he's the kind of player that feeds off the crowd.
Right.
Yeah. Like
there is no crowd.
No, like Ferland, if you've watched him play a lot, and we have in this market because Calgary plays Vancouver 20 times a year, he feeds on emotion.
Yeah.
He needs rivalry games and he needs big crowds.
There is no rivalry.
No, it's like playing in the middle of the Steamtown Mall.
See, as a Canucks fan, I was really sad to see all 4 of these players move. I'm like, the Vancouver didn't have anything to go after with.
They had nothing to offer.
I would offer. So what's the Canuck equivalent on this deal? It would be Troy Stetcher and Sven Barchi.
I think it'd be a Tanev or an Edler.
Okay.
Would you have done
Chris Tanev and Sven Barchi for Dougie Hamilton and Micheal Ferland?
Oh,
yeah.
Of course I do that
In
deal.
a heartbeat.
There you go.
Come on, Jimbo.
Well, here's the thing, and I know I'm not supposed to speak on behalf of the podcast, but I did on Twitter today because Jimbo has become rational.
I saw that.
And
No, I laughed. That was funny.
So,
I left that alone because I was like, that speaks for me.
So I'll say it again because
I didn't see it.
I tweeted, nothing turns us on more than Jimbo talking rationally and practically about a rebuild.
He used the word.
Yeah.
He used it.
And it goes, Benning said he did not have talks with John Tavares' camp. Where we are at in rebuilding, I don't know if it makes sense to have a player who makes that much money. We really didn't pursue it.
Yeah, I love it.
Holy God.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
Testify.
Good Lord, Jimbo, write a book.
And that pick, too. Like, that was a great draft pick. Now, I sort of agree with Brian Burke that the kid is not as big as his hockey card says. He's not 5'10". He's not 170, which ain't big to begin with.
No, and the baby face does not help.
And he should not be considered for a roster spot next year.
You're not confusing Quinn Hughes with that lost child that was on the stage at the draft on Friday.
Might have been the same guy. Anyway.
Because like right before the Canucks, or right after the Canucks drafted, that lost child came up. No, it wasn't a lost child. Sorry, it was you know how they have the runner.
Yeah,
the
draft runner.
The kid that wears the hat and then he has his name on the back of the jersey. That's who it was.
Yeah.
Quinn Hughes is a mountain of a man.
Oh, okay.
He's as big as the mighty oak.
Well, because they were like Darren Dreger and all these guys were talking about how certain they were that Hughes would come in and be willing to sign now.
That's the talk,
and challenge for a roster spot. And as sexy as that sounds to a starving fan who needs headlines, you're afforded a chance to not do that if you're Quentin Hughes. Like next year is going to be the Peterson year. Like that's going to be the hype in this town.
Right.
It's going to be. This is Elias Peterson's year.
Yeah.
And then next year probably is Demko's year.
Yeah.
Right.
So like just stay in Michigan for another year or wherever the fuck he goes in the cage league.
And that's the other thing, right? He's an 18-year-old in college.
Yeah, eat some beef.
Yeah, unless he's going to sit and
get bigger.
Become friends with the bench press and work out all summer. Like, just stay away.
Look, a chin-up is really hard, okay?
It is. Ask Sam Bennett. Let the Canucks finish last, and then hopefully we get your brother, too. It's Hughes and Hughes, like the Sedin twins.
No, that'll never happen.
Yeah, I know.
Jack Hughes will go to... Calgary.
In a
Calgary.
Sorry, he's going to Ottawa.
In a sports movie directed by John Hughes. Although he's got to do the chin-ups because he's too small and weak to hold up the boombox. So there you go.
When we were watching the draft, there's one time of the year. Well, now there's more. I'm warming up, but there's one time of the year where I trust Jimbo, and it's at the draft.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. He's a great head scout.
And aside from an alleged video game addiction, which you're not going to find that in a combine in a combine.
We're not going to find out about that for at least a fortnight. Okay.
He's done a good job, and so when I saw him, super duper excited, and he's excited about two things. One was Quinn Hughes, the other one that he just got a new shipment of Just for Men gel in.
Yeah, just go gray gracefully, Jimbo. You look like a vampire.
I say don't go full Dracula, go touch of gray. Distinguished elderly man.
It looks so natural, no one can tell.
It's
Just
also
for Men.
his face looks a little tighter.
Yeah, well,
you think he had a little Botox?
Vancouver.
Oh.
He's probably eating at meat now, too.
Well, he's trying to.
But he was so excited when they were able to get Quinn Hughes. I'm going to say Quinn because it makes it sound
They were
like
going by Quinn. It's Quinton, but they're going by... It's Quintin.
Yeah.
Which is
That's what I thought.
Fucking millennial names.
Yeah, it's such a little boy name, but he was so excited. He's like, I didn't think that he'd be available at 7, and when we heard that they took Zadina, we jumped at the opportunity.
Well, part of me is okay with him signing and maybe playing in Utica just to get him signed, because that's always my fear with the cage league. But he's so little. He's so little. I just have visions of like some monster like Tom Wilson just choke slamming him like the Undertaker.
Troy Stetcher's pretty little.
Yeah, but Troy Stetcher's a salty little shit. You really watch Troy Stetcher play hockey? He is stick first, and I like that.
Yep.
But like he's got that, like, Stetcher's got that bit of flurry to his game where he's a
Right.
little unpredictable. He's going to hack you.
Yeah.
Quinn Hughes looks like he's going to dip your cookies in his milk.
If you know what I mean.
I don't.
But I mean, what if we gave this kid a year?
Yeah, give
We-
him a year. It's the Peterson year. You're not going to get
there's
any of the
no-
headlines.
We've got a lot of time, and that's unfortunately what we told
That's
the
all-
waitress at meet. It's like, we got nowhere to go. I'm
That's
like, "Jeez."
exactly what you told her.
She had a bra shirt. I'm sorry.
That was held together with a safety pin.
It's not my fault. Look at that face. Who can be mean to
I
that face?
ate lettuce for you guys.
I'm gonna get you ice cream. I'm sorry. God damn it, Geeta. So Ryan needs some props because he predicted something, although it was fairly obvious. But you did call that Barry Trotz was going to the island.
Yeah, he's going to make $20 million. I can't remember if it was
Coaching in like 6 rinks.
4 for 5 or 5 for 4. Either, I don't think it's a 4 for 5.
Yeah, it wasn't quite a Jimbo special.
Is this a last-ditch effort to hang on to Tavares? Look at what I got. I got the best coach. Just won a cup. We could win one for you.
We got Lou Lamoriello. Ain't he old?
Oh, Lou Lamoriello's already came in with his old band tendencies. Josh Hosang, 66. You're wearing 26. now.
Is he still on the team?
Oh,
Talk about a guy who's not going to jive well with Uncle Lou.
yeah. He's going to come in with a beard.
Josh Hosang is an independent thinker. He's going to kneel at the bench until he allows facial hair.
Oh, yeah. Who are you kneeling for? Just strictly Grandpa Lou. There's nothing to do with the anthem.
All November, Lou. All November, I'm kneeling for prostate cancer. That rule is stupid. That is the fucking stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life.
It's a little militant.
It's dumb. It's it's got a very...
It needs to have a Yankees track record for it to make sense.
Yeah.
And even
then, it's like, come on.
And that's the thing, right? He's going into teams with a losing... he's going
culture.
on to... That's the word. Thank you.
and being a hammer.
He's going into teams that have never won and then trying to implement something, and
Somebody's got to clean this shithole up, and it's going
it
to be
ain't
me.
working. Losers aren't taking it well.
Does the whole not shaving thing fall under the every teammate team culture umbrella that Dougie Hamilton's been traded for a third time because of?
No, this is just a weird old school, out of touch old man bullshit thing.
Oh, just like that you got to go get drunk with the whole team every night.
Yeah, but
Nobody
that's-
shaves on the podcast.
But that's fun. And if you don't do that, then you're weird. Like I haven't.
You're a big weirdo,
I
Dougie
didn't,
Hamilton.
I didn't play professional hockey, obviously, but like
Dick Bachman did.
I played a lot of hockey, and I still play hockey, and there are certain things that are weird. Like there was a couple of guys, like when I was playing, in my more competitive days, who just wouldn't shower with the rest of the team,
Okay.
or guys that would constantly get in trouble for not ironing their dress pants, and that one I kind of got because like if we all have to dress up and like you're just like being a wrinkly old bastard, like you should do it too.
But that's ridiculous. You are wearing dress pants. Iron them.
Yeah.
You're
But, like,
wearing
and-
pants at all. Iron them.
And they're not sharing, like you're not showering, like so we're all like on the bus with you on a 2-hour ride back from fucking Chilliwack, and you're gonna stink up the bus, you dirty bugger.
But if Dougie Hamilton doesn't want to go to Vegas,
Would you judge him if he wore a bathing suit and showered with you?
Dougie Hamilton
Yeah,
showering
we
with
would.
Dave? Never nude?
That would be if he was if he wore cutoffs like Tobias Funke, that would be
No,
worse.
I'm gonna. This falls under fat kid at the pool with the shirt on.
Yeah.
I know what'll deceive them. I'll wear a shirt in there, and nobody will know I'm fat.
Target.
You got to go all. You got to own it, and you can't
Yeah,
wear a
we had all kinds of like fucking mutants on that hockey team. This guy was just like, I think he was like a Mennonite or something. I don't know. He didn't last. We traded him.
just like his name was Dougie.
He finished the year in Aldergrove. No one wants to go there.
Some NHL awards were given out. Former Edmonton Oiler Taylor Hall, he won the Hart Trophy.
Yeah, the Oilers really cleaned up this year.
They did. Are you reading this for the first time?
No, I'm just thinking. I just think in that context, it's really funny because they traded him for Larson straight.
Yeah. There's another thing, like the short-sightedness. Like, well, we've got Connor McDavid and we've got Leon Draisaitl.
What don't we have?
We need defense. So luckily we've got these two guys to score goals, and we'll just get some really good defensemen.
But we're going to take the first offer we get. It's like fucking giving away Radiohead tickets on 99.3. First person to call in gets Taylor Hall.
It's not caller 9. It's caller 1.
Caller 9, what do you got? This is Ray from New Jersey. First time, long time.
So what you're saying...
The magic word is Adam Larson. Oh. We got a deal!
What you're saying is Vancouver could have had Taylor Hall for Tanev and Stetcher.
Probably.
Well, no, Tanev. I mean, Adam Larson is a second pairing defenseman on a bad team.
I don't think they would trade him in the division.
Tanev is a first pairing defenseman
somebody-
on a bad team.
But who would you rather have? Like Dougie Hamilton, who just got traded for Noah Hanifin, or Taylor Hall? Like,
on our virtual Canucks team we're creating here that has Ferland, Noah Hanifin, Taylor Hall, and all we've given up is Sven Baertschi and Edler and Tanev. Like, God, we're going to win a Stanley
this
Cup
is like
here.
when George almost became assistant general manager of the New York Yankees. He figured out how to get Bonds and Griffey without giving up that much.
Yeah, just that easy. This is when you play Chell with GM with trades on easy.
Yeah.
Taylor Hall for Adam Larson. This isn't going to fly under any other.
Well, I remember doing this show when that trade was broken, and we talked about that.
Yeah.
Me, you, and
Yeah.
Paul. I went home on NHL 15 and tried to make that deal,
It's not
and
happening.
trade was rejected.
and EA said no.
The bot knew better.
The
The bot can't tell you what slides for security purposes have a car in them or not.
Dave.
But it knows not to make that trade.
The problem is the culture AI. Yeah, the locker room culture.
The morale was dropping.
Didn't work in that game. Wasn't realistic enough.
So moving on, even fun. I'm going to laugh through this entire segment.
Okay.
Matt Barzal wins the Calder. Matt Barzal was drafted by the Islanders with the pick that the Oilers flipped to them for Griffin Reinhart.
One of two of the picks they got. For
Oh, Jesus. Tap dancing
Where's
Christ.
Griffin Reinhart today?
He was
The Chicago Wolves of the American Hockey League, the affiliate of the Vegas Golden Knights.
yeah, so he is a Stanley Cup champion
No, he's
No,
not.
he's
He's
not.
a what?
by association.
No, not even.
adjacent.
He tells people that at the bar.
Like, that's a lot of degrees of separation there, bud.
I played on the Stanley Cup champions once.
Well, his connection better be like, I will inherit my dad's 1989 Stanley Cup ring. Oh, no, his dad was traded to Vancouver by then. Never mind.
Matt Barzal is a good-looking man. The Oilers could have marketed around that for a very long time.
Yeah.
Well, nobody can be prettier than Connor, so they would have had to move him.
Yeah, and that might be the other problem.
And that's the Ted Lindsay. He won the Ted Lindsay Award, where that's everybody's. Is that where the players vote on him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Well, because they know like who makes us look foolish out there and dangles around us. It's Connor.
yeah.
And that's best player, not MVP. So I'm okay with that. Gerard Gallant wins the Jack Adams.
That's
Another Alberta mistake.
He took a cab. Well, that was a Florida Panther mistake.
Oh, okay.
He took a cab to the award show and gave Dale Talon the bill. Good for him. That's great.
He's a great coach, and he was a good coach when he got fired. But
Yeah.
then the weirdos and
There's weirdos in Florida.
it's not even a matter of Dale Old Guard versus computer boys. It's just nobody would decide what stick with which idea.
Well, the owner had an idea, and Dale Talon had an idea, and no one. Yeah, no. It feels like no one made a decision, and a decision got made somehow.
that buzzing is your iPhone plugged
Sorry.
in. There's wires sticking out of the cord.
Pekka Rinne wins his first Vezina trophy.
Yeah, I was saying it's a lifetime achievement Oscar like Leo for.
He had a really good year.
Mm.
Do you see him in the playoffs?
That's not what the Vezina trophy is based on.
Well, it's a good thing, or else they wouldn't have given it to him.
Because this was a weird award because it was kind of like, and this is indicative of their season. Like Kucherov and Vasilevsky were the front runners for
Right.
their awards, and then both of them faded, and Taylor Hall ends up winning the Hart Trophy, and Vasilevsky loses to Rinne.
Yeah.
Is this Rene's like we owe him like his what did we call it?
A Leo
Lifetime,
Oscar.
his lifetime achievement.
Yeah,
Is this his
for the
lifetime?
Remnant or whatever?
The Revenant.
Revenant, yeah.
But is
Or-
this Vezina Rene's lifetime achievement
Is this
award?
his Revenant Oscar Vezina?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on where he plays next year.
He's playing in Nashville next year.
There's
Juicy Saros ain't ready yet. He's a good goalie, but he's not ready.
You know what irks me?
I didn't know Rene was a Vezina Trophy winner.
He is now.
Yeah, no, but I didn't think he was that good.
He's a first time, long time.
He is the first time.
He's been nominated a lot, but
He's
he's never been on the air.
Okay.
He's a very good supporting cast in front of him in the likes of gigantic defensemen that keep being produced.
My God, this is like the worst award show ever.
It really is. It's buzzless. Like Victor Hedman has no personality, and he won the Norris.
I came home and tried to watch it, and I promptly fell asleep. It is my money ball. Like,
Which is
Stop rolling out Robin Thicke. We get it. He likes hockey. His
Who are
dad was a hockey guy.
the guys that like hockey are Robin Thicke,
Robin Thicke.
Pat Sajak,
He loves hockey.
Kevin Smith.
oh, they had Keenan Thompson
Kevin
this
Smith.
year.
That Kevin Connolly guy from Entourage.
Yep. And there's another guy.
Cuba Gooding Jr. loves
Yep.
hockey. Jerry Bruckheimer loves hockey.
Yeah, and they're the same guys.
Justin Bieber loves hockey, but he wouldn't do the awards.
They had the little kid from Vancouver, that Jacob Tremblay.
Oh, him, yeah. Where I'm a Canucks fan. Wow, woe is me. And we're like, haha, hey, shut up.
Jay Baruchel loves hockey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's the same 8 guys that, all right, sprinkle them around.
Chris Jericho loves hockey.
Lindsey Vonn loves hockey.
She does now.
She looked good that night.
Not as good
She's
as
hot.
Not as good as Mike Badano. He's looking good.
I wonder how his ex-wife is doing.
I got the sense that when he was like, good to be back. Oh, that was at the draft.
That was
sorry.
the draft.
And he's like, good to be back, Big D.
That was an interesting bit with him and Jamie Benn.
Think he was getting into his road phone a little bit that night?
I just imagine that guy had a lot of fun playing in Dallas where nobody knew him, but he was a good-looking guy with
and
a
had
lot
of money.
When the Dallas Stars are partying with Pantera every night.
In the words of Kevin, that's Dallas. John Carlson gets his big payday in Washington. They did that the right way. This is why organizations are good, and this is why some organizations are bad. They get Brooks Orpik off the fucking pokey.
And he already has been bought out. He's a UFA now.
Yeah, and he's probably going back.
Is that insider? Shouldn't that be illegal?
Nope. I don't know. I think it's just smart.
I don't know. Hey,
Smart.
but here you go. Take this. Buy him out if you want. And then
We'll take him back on the cheap.
Yeah.
that sounds like don't invest in,
I think it's okay.
It's fine. We got one more year before they got to go back to the CBA.
Oh yeah, then we will.
How's that going to
So scam all you want.
I'm not going to watch any panels of guys sitting outside hotels.
If this podcast is still going on and there's a lockout,
We got to go down to New York and do a podcast panel.
I think we should do. I don't know what we would do.
Gary?
How do we do a lockout podcast? We would be here every week.
We would do
This week in the Spangler Cup.
No, this podcast would turn into a mystery box, or every week one of us does research on a topic and we discuss it.
I like that.
So
I could do that.
Yeah. So I mean,
We just kind of did one with celebrities who like hockey.
yeah, and then so I mean,
Who's that comic that Jay Moore? Jay Moore likes hockey.
Yeah, he does.
Oh,
That
yeah.
comic no one likes.
Oh man,
Yeah, but he also peaked about 2000.
Show me the money.
was he? Oh, he was. He was the dick. He was Sugar.
Yeah.
God, that's that is a great
so
movie.
you think the Oprah thing is insider trading? Yeah, it kinda
it smells.
It smells, but I don't care. I don't look at that as cheating. It's like if you're playing by the rules everybody else has got.
Yeah.
Smart. Other big money news. ILYA KOVALCHUK's got a lot of rubles.
This one kind of is interesting.
Why?
It's too long. The term is too long.
He's got
it's
3
very
years.
long.
It's almost Jimbo length.
It's long for a guy who hasn't
If
played
you
in
know
the
what I
league in
mean.
what, 6 years, 8 years?
He's 5 years removed.
It's the HJ, the half Jimbo.
I mean, he was the leading scorer in the KHL.
Yeah, but I mean, so has like
Gold-
Rob Schremp or whoever.
Gold jacket, green jacket. Who gives a shit?
It's not hard to be the leading scorer in the KHL, and they were supposed to fix that championship, and they screwed that up.
Yeah, they can't do nothing right.
Fix it as in the win should go to certain...
SK St. Petersburg was supposed to. That's Putin's team. They were supposed to win, but AK Bars Kazan they did a shoot.
Got it.
He's going to the.
I didn't hear it. It was a fast count. What are you gonna do?
I heard an interesting point about LA where they just wanted offense. They wanted goal scorers because they couldn't do that last year.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to give up all their prospects. And they have cap space. So let's just sign this old Russian. And if he can score 20 goals, that's great. But it's a lot of money.
Yeah, that's another team they made the playoffs, but I'm starting to smell no direction on them a little bit.
They love old guys. Remember Marion Gabrick's big deal?
Yeah, but he's
Ottawa Senators Hall of Famer.
Oh,
Well,
God.
their window
Forever
has to
ascend.
be closing.
Ottawa?
No,
LA's
LA.
I think it's shut already. I don't think it's open.
It is shut because you saw what
Because Dowdy's not that old.
Daddy?
Dowdy.
Oh.
Drew Daddy. Drew Daddy Dowdy. Is he another guy that maybe like Carey Price needs to take his show on the road?
I mean, look at what's around him. I don't know what their prospects look
And
like.
they could get a lot for Drew Dowdy. Teams would give up their left nut.
They
for
would
Drew
give
Doughty.
up Hamilton and Ferland.
Yeah, a couple, and then some. A cup contender that could get Drew Doughty at
See
the
if
deadline.
Vancouver could get him for Hanifin.
Straight up. God, I'd love to have Drew Doughty.
Drew Doughty would cost you like a Brock Besser, and picks, and you wouldn't bat an eye at doing it. You'd do it. I'd do it. I don't care.
But he wouldn't stay in Vancouver. Well, he's already got 2 cups. What does he care?
I'd sign him to a long-term deal.
Yeah, sign him forever.
I want
Kovalchuk money.
Jimbo, we've signed Drew Doughty forever. What are the
Forever.
What are the contract details? Forever.
In 2029, it's Drew Doughty forever a Canuck banner raising night.
And he'll still have forever left on his deal.
Yeah, so we won't have a timeline. It'll just be 2018 to question mark. Or what's the infinity symbol? Put that up there.
What's he making? 6.
6 forever.
6 forever.
It's called the Super Jimbo Special. It's like winning the lottery. You could take the lump sum, or I can give you 6 forever.
I just want Drew Doughty because he's like he's like Phil Kessel, but like a superstar. Like Phil's just really good, but Drew Doughty is like that makes your hockey team because he's so good. And I just want
pure talent.
Yeah,
there's no conditioning there.
And I want him to not give a fuck. Like he walks up to Canucks practice in March. He's got a Coors Banquet beer, free cowboy hat on, flip flops, a Tommy Bahama shirt, like just like hung over. And he's like, "Oh God, I gotta skate this one off."
Still the sharpest guy out there.
Yeah, I want him to be walking down Georgia Street to get to the rink, and he's like, "Oh fuck, I don't know where I'm coming
with
from."
a boiler.
I'm
like
very attracted to this man.
Yeah,
with a
he does
stomach,
not
with
give a fuck.
with his dad bod stomach poking out from behind his Tommy Bahama shirt.
And then he goes and plays the game that night and is electric, and and just
the trainers had to sew a girdle into his pants.
those are Spanx.
He's wearing Spanx.
This is Drew Doughty for Spanx.
Drew Doughty, Spanx, and 6 forever. Get it done.
6 forever. I'd take that deal.
Brock Besser for Drew Doughty. 6 forever is the deal.
I don't know if I'd want to go to Brock Besser, but
That's
yeah.
that's what it would take. Brock Besser and probably your first pick.
I love Drew Doughty.
I love him too. God bless him. Get out of L.A., Drew. We like watching you in May.
Ryan Burke had a good quote that I wrote this down. I wanted to read this out loud. The 2 hardest GM jobs in the NHL are Toronto and Montreal. Toronto is hardest because you are stupid twice.
Montreal is hardest because
Yeah.
you're stupid twice.
Right.
In French and in English.
That's a pretty good quote.
Yep.
Although I watched the draft and he said a lot of idiotic things. It was entertaining.
But you want somebody to say idiotic things.
But yeah, he dated himself. I'm like, oh, I'm glad you're out of hockey.
Well, I liked when he showed the drafting rule book for 2008.
Yeah.
And I wasn't paying attention at first. So I was like, oh, I was in the kitchen. I'm like, oh, Burke's got his rule book out for what guys are looking for at the draft. And it's like, Europeans don't draft them for the bottom 6. Leave the blue collar work to the North Americans. I was like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, like
here?
don't take a European in the last 2 rounds kind of thing.
But then he's like, and this is the rules for this year, and its nationality does not apply. Doesn't matter about their passport. Anybody can do the work. I like him, but yeah, he's saying some interesting things.
So the big Mike Hoffman trade has come home and gone. Has come and gone.
Yeah, the San Jose Sharks are looking to be really smart once again, and they're probably they could potentially get John Tavares.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, Tavares.
Do they have cap?
Oh yeah.
If they don't bring back Beardy McBeard sauce.
Well, I don't know what the cap is right now, and it's gone up. There's money. There's money to work, and they want him bad. They want to give him the.
Is that an 8 forever?
They want to get Tavares in for an 8 for 15 forever.
He should leave Long Island. He really should.
I am somebody, and I was talking about something on the weekend. I would love if I was a hockey player to play in California.
Okay.
I'm telling you, man, Tampa's the best spot.
Well, Tampa is a horrible town, but it's the taxes.
Tampa's so nice.
Oh no,
it's nice.
Orlando. There we go. But you're in Florida. There's bath salts. There's gators. There's gators on bath salts.
Accurate.
Everybody's freaking out. Hulk Hogan's your neighbor.
Hey, brother.
Hey, brother.
You got any sugar, brother?
I hear you got one of those 15 forever deals, dude.
What's your Wi-Fi like? I need to siphon. He's like, that website money ain't coming in. They ain't paying me.
Gawker didn't have $150 million, brother. Who'd have thunk it?
I'm going to have to job to Cena, brother.
They want me to come back. Insider wrestling terms aside. Playing in California, like I look at Teemu Selanne as he has the best life, where he's tanned all the time. He escaped Winnipeg, which is what you want to do.
And they still like him.
They love him. He comes back to Winnipeg when he wants.
Right.
Like, to live and play hockey in Southern California where nobody knows you. You have that concentrated... Well, San Jose has a fan base.
Ask Scott Niedermeyer about what it's like playing
Look
in
at
California.
him. That guy does not look 40-something.
No.
He looks 33 and feeling fine.
Yeah.
33 and living free.
No stress, baby.
He looks great.
Win the cup, don't win the cup, and the people at Choices still treat me nice.
Yeah, because he's got
Yeah.
money. He's got the money to live and work at and eat at Choices.
No one's coming up to you in Choices like they did. No, it was Urban Fair when I was behind Daniel Sedin at Urban Fair. And this guy's like, why don't you get the power play going? And it took all the self-control I had not to go, why don't you shut the hell up?
Yeah, seriously though, Daniel.
But then
power
I thought,
play.
I was literally going through the motions in my head of what that confrontation would look like. And I'm like, Daniel wouldn't want me to do that.
He's like, hey, we are all good. We are all Canucks.
He said a lot. He goes, I remember he went, oh, we're trying so hard.
Can you imagine? Like, it's funny you bring this up
That guy
because
had infinite patience.
if you want to follow somebody great on Instagram,
Yeah.
I recommend Sean Avery. He's very angry, and he's always ranting about people at the gym. But he brought up, he's always on the gym. He's always on the Stairmaster. He's like, oh, look at the dude not wearing a shirt in the gym. What the fuck? And he's like, he's doing cardio. Like, he's sweating. And he's
Yeah.
always ranting about people at the gym. And he's great because he's an intelligent man. It's very entertaining. But today he was talking about how Sarah Huckabee Sanders was like heckled, or
She got banned from the Red
yeah,
Hen.
or other people were other political figures have been heckled in restaurants, and he gets on his Instagram stories. He's like, Jesus Christ, you know how hard it was to be a hockey player in a Canadian city on the opposing team? Like, get some thicker skin for fuck's sakes, or something along those lines.
Walking into Toronto when you're playing for Detroit.
Yeah, walk into Moxie's. Where's Dougie Hamilton? Oh, who would have thought?
He's not there.
You got Ryan following you into the bathroom if you play for the Dallas Stars.
Hey, he was really polite about it.
Oh, one more thing about Dougie Hamilton.
Nice dick, Tyler.
Hey, thanks. I mean, wait, who are you?
You like the tattoo on it? It says live, laugh, love.
Well, it just says laugh, but then when it extends, it says live, laugh.
laugh.
Okay, you guys.
The one thing about Dougie Hamilton, he's already done an interview with Carolina Sports Radio.
Yeah.
They have that over there?
They do. Well, it was like a NASCAR show, and they're like,
Okay.
oh, and this guy.
Well, the Hurricanes are sponsoring a car, so we got to talk.
That's the only way people know about the Hurricanes. There it goes.
That's
right
it, covered butter right there.
and he goes,
Hey, it's Dougie. He's in the pace car.
You know who was at NASCAR this week? Evander Kane.
Was he?
Yeah.
Which one?
I don't know. Somewhere in California, because he was also at an athletics game, and I was very turned off.
Well, yeah, Geeta has an irrational hate. For those listening that don't know this, Geeta has an irrational hate for the Oakland Athletics.
They have an elephant as a mascot. It doesn't make sense.
It's because it was moved from Philadelphia or something.
What does Philadelphia have to do with elephants?
Isn't the elephant a political thing? Elephants and rhinos or something?
Lions?
Shit, I can't remember.
Oh yeah, one's a like a Republican.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's what it comes from.
Okay.
The one thing about Dougie Hamilton, he was on the radio and he goes, "I've never been to a museum in Calgary, but I'm sure there's some nice ones here in Carolina."
Oh,
so he's in
throwing a little shade.
Like, what if
There's also no Moxies there.
of all the things to bug somebody about? Hey, why don't you go to a museum and learn about world history?
Maybe I will.
Oh yeah, it's actually got a really good exhibit there right now.
I think I'm going to go have an Americano.
Mike Hoffman was traded. San Jose, basically. Here is a long, detailed list of how good of a... this list is long, and at the end you'll know how bad of a GM or how bad the Ottawa Senators are. San Jose frees up cap space. They get a 4th and a 5th in this year.
So this was a house flip deal.
Yeah, they shipped him right out.
It's like Dwight flipping Andy's Xterra.
Yeah, because he's a sucker, and he's going to make money off him. They basically walked away with 4 picks over 3 drafts. Some guy named Cody
Donaghy?
Sure. Florida Panthers get Mike Hoffman. I'm not sure if whatever. Oh, I forget her name. It's got a lot of Y's in it.
Carrick.
Monica Carrick?
Yeah, Monica with a K.
Yeah, so...
Ugh. She wants to speak to the manager at Mead in Yaletown.
I wish we had the guts that Monica with a K had. We should have spoke to somebody.
You don't want those kind of guts.
They get Hoffman.
She's generally a terrible person.
Allegedly. They get a 7th round pick, and then Ottawa gets Michael Bodker, Julius Bergman, and a 6th-round pick in 2020.
Julius Bergman's got Calder Cup over Calder Trophy written all over him.
Yeah, that's fair. And one of the scariest thing you could possibly hear is that Tyler Bozak's people have been contacted by Jimbo, and
we're gonna give him the old 6x6.
Yeah. So
why aren't we in on the Thomas Vanek?
Because the Sedins aren't here anymore.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's the only reason Louis Eriksson wanted to come here, and that's the reason Thomas Vanek wanted to come here.
I am totally okay with Tyler Bozak under one circumstance.
What?
If they get rid of Brandon Sutter. If Brandon Sutter is being traded somewhere else,
right,
then I have no problem with Tyler Bozak.
Can we just petition?
Well, who would you rather have?
Oh, I don't know.
Bozak for 6 years or whatever's left of Brandon Sutter?
I'd rather have whatever's left of Brandon Sutter. But at least I could rationalize a Bozak deal.
Yeah, there can't be two of those types.
They're the same player.
Yeah.
Get rid of them both. I'd rather a Kessel.
A Castle?
A Kessel.
Phil, you gonna play this tonight? I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna play tonight. I don't know.
I don't know. Oh, there's a good photo.
You tell Rutherford to fuck off. I'm not playing this year.
That'd just be so much fun.
You tell that fucking piece of
but
shit.
When it's real miserable in November, you're like, I just want to pick on Phil Kessel.
Well, he'd be down at the Costco restaurant. Like, Phil, you got a game in an hour. Fuck, I'll be home.
I'm not eating the buns. It's just the waiters. It's fine.
It's across the street. What's the big fucking deal? Expo Boulevard. They'll block. They got a cup there, Bucket Chef.
I got my skate guards on.
It's up the stairs. It's fine.
He goes through the crowd to get down to warm up. He climbs over the
We're all just like, oh, Phil.
Oh, Phil and Drew on the same team. Oh, God.
Man. Don't tell them about rib night up in the press box.
Guy would be driving him
So we haven't talked about the biggest trade of the week, which is the Canucks deal with the Chicago Blackhawks. Their rival, Michael Chaput, goes to Chicago for a guy named Tanner Kiro, who I can tell you honestly I didn't know existed.
Yeah, and Michael Chaput has not been. I don't think they've qualified him yet.
Are they just getting rid of Willie's people
Did
now?
they just give us this guy then for nothing?
I think so.
Oh.
I think Willie is standing on a rock on a bluff in Climax, Saskatchewan, and he's hearing this, and he's just shedding a tear. When they let Megna go for nothing, that's when he just it's done.
I'm not even going to try to win the gold medal at the Olympics.
I'll do it, but I won't be happy about it.
Bronze is a nice. I'm not showing off, but I brought something home.
Bronze is such a Willie color too.
It is. That's such a Willie medal. It's like you didn't lose, so we can't hate you that much, but you didn't win either.
I want to go to.
He's a Calder Cup winning coach.
Oh man, there's two things I wanted to bring up
in
terms of podcast listeners.
Okay.
The first was we talk about our softball team, the Shitty Beatles, so much.
Big win on Sunday.
Great W. Consistent bats, top to bottom of the lineup.
Great defense.
Great new uniforms. Ground out double plays. Oh, there's one.
Yeah.
Consistent bats, Geeta. You wouldn't believe it. And the new shirts.
Whole lineup was hitting.
Brought to you by delicious Beer League Craft Lager. Anyway, we talk about them so much on this podcast that because we're sponsored by Beer League Craft Lager.
That delicious Beer League Craft Lager.
Too refreshing, this delicious Beer League Craft Lager, that their Central City Instagram, or the Beer League, their Instagram, they put one of my photos up because we're obligated to. And somebody recognized the name Shitty Beatles from the podcast and tagged us like, oh, Pugs on Net, one of my favorite podcasts. And I thought that was fantastic.
Synergy.
And then, as I was reveling in that, like a big shot, I got a text from a former coworker that listens to the show, Tim, and he has multiple shirts, including the Puck Sonnet William Shakespeare shirt.
Good shirt.
He goes, I got high-fived on the False Creek seawall while wearing a PON t-shirt. No idea who the guy was. Hey, Pucks on Net, high five, a very David Putty moment. Shoulder shrug emoji.
High five.
So if you're any of those people that we just mentioned, send us an email. pucksonetca@gmail.com.
If you're the high fiver, we want to know who you are.
Yeah, because he said it wasn't. I'm like, he's like, I don't know who it was. It wasn't Dave. It wasn't Paul. So I'm out of ideas.
Well, Paul and I are cranky old men. We don't high five strangers.
On the seawall on a Saturday.
No, I'm at IKEA.
So I want to go some questions here.
Hot dogs.
Corey Bananas, she asked a really good question.
Okay.
And she already asked.
That is a good question.
She already asked, what do you guys think of Jim Benning's hair dye job? We touched on that earlier.
Bad, all bad.
Aggressive.
Needs to leave a touch of gray.
Yeah.
He went too
that's
hard.
That's a good word. It's aggressive.
It's aggressive.
Yeah.
It's whoa.
It reminds me, and you'll appreciate this, when Creed needs to look younger in the office.
Yeah!
So he takes all the black ink out of the printer.
Oh, Ryan, if you don't go on our Twitter tonight and do a who wore it best side by side, I swear to God, I'll fire you.
All right, I'll do that. I'll take care of that. And this is a great question.
Yeah.
And it goes, what would the Canucks have to do to have a worse third jersey than the Hurricanes? Now, if you're wondering what's with the spelling mistake, the Carolina Hurricanes released arguably the shittiest.
That was the worst thing I've ever seen.
Their new third jersey. Have you seen it? It has.
No.
It's
Oh,
black.
I think so. It looks like a bee or something.
No, it's got a flag with 2 red flags on
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
It's their
yeah.
third.
A bee,
it's,
yeah.
It looks like a bee.
it's their third logo, just times 2. It looked like
Yeah.
it was like Excel's not starting,
When she
and it's
said
duplicating.
when you said it looked like a bee, I'm like, no, that's the Columbus Blue Jackets. home
No,
jersey.
it looks like a bee, like the letter B.
Yeah, the Hurricanes, the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah.
One idea comes to mind how they could do a worse job. They could go with the flying V, but in the current colors. Blue, green, and white, but a V.
Well, then Geeta sent me a photo where she's like, use the two-tone Orca one, but use the stick and rink logo on it, like the shoulder patch
Oh,
color.
that's a hot mess.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
then
But the worst thing they could really do for a jersey is put a C on Brandon Sutter's sweater.
what's Dave doing?
Oh, no, that's a great idea. I think he should be captain. No, I just got a saucy work text.
That was really funny.
And I got it
I would like to say from the
and
reaction.
I got it on my wrist. So like I'm wearing an Apple Watch, so I get the text to my wrist, but I didn't know where my phone.
If you could see Dave, he was sitting on his phone.
you try getting a text without knowing where your phone is. It's a very unsettling feeling.
Oh, it's usually in some place inappropriate.
It means it's near. It was up my butt.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So while Dave replies to that, I'll go to some more questions.
Okay.
19 Sharan asks thoughts on the Hughes pick, and I think we're generally pretty positive about it. There are concerns from the love seat contingent that he's a little small, but if Jimbo's excited about him, I'm pretty excited about him.
Yeah.
I could put him in a baby Bjorn. He'd be dangling people.
They say he weighs 173 pounds.
Look, he looks no more innocent than Johnny Gaudreau does, and Gaudreau's doing okay.
And Jakub Voracek used him as a baby Bjorn. Do you remember that? You remember?
Would you rather have Noah Hanifin now that you know which D-man we picked?
No,
And
I was wrong.
Yeah, and he goes, in your answer, please mention how much research you've done on him, i.e. if you've watched a 2-minute highlight clip or read a bunch of articles and watched every video.
I looked at the picture of him and his 2 brothers.
I saw a video of Quinn at the draft and on the stage of the draft,
Yeah.
and his Instagram story afterwards.
Yeah.
For me, it was I did more research on Hanifin.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. He might be plateauing at a young age, which happens.
If the price is okay, then it's not a big deal.
Yeah, but and Hughes,
You'll never know because he went from Carolina to Calgary.
Yeah, and I guess, and the best thing I could say is I might have been wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm not afraid to admit that because I think sticking to your guns is a very American thing to do, and we don't do that here. Here, if we make mistakes, we admit it. But time will tell. We'll find out. We're gonna find, and especially with Hanifin being in our backyard now in this division, we're gonna find out 7,000 times a year.
They play here more than the Oakland
They
Athletics.
play a lot.
Is this from our sister podcast?
Left Coast Leafs podcast. I like the name. You should probably phone in. You have a Matthews jersey. Should the Canucks sign Bozak? What term? What average? How high up in the line should he play? On the grand scheme of things, no, not enough. It's too much money. No average, and he should play on another team.
Yeah, zeros across the board for me. If this happens, no more than 2 years at $4 million a year.
Yeah.
And if you're going to pay him that much, you better play him in the top 6.
Oh, but he's not in top 6 kind of guy.
Well, they ain't signing him for the top 9 money. They ain't signing for the top 6 money.
This one I want to have a little more thought in. Wu-Tang Dad asked on Instagram. It's the most underrated player of all time. And my running pick is still Theo Fleury because he gets such a bad rap, but you forget how good of a hockey player he
Do you
was.
make the Hall of Fame?
Not yet. He will. I don't know if he ever will because
Okay.
he's shooting his mouth off.
Right.
And Faber from Nanaimo asks, what's your favorite Vancouver sports talk radio? And the only one, I haven't listened to 650 ever because it sounds like a really
I tried, but it's still got that remnants of Sea Isle 650.
It reminds us of early podcasts where we weren't able to fill 45 minutes. We're like, what do you think about this?
I wasn't part of your show then.
The only show I really listen to is Sakaris and Price, and when in the summers,
Oh no, go ahead.
my most shameful moment is one time when the Mariners were playing the Blue Jays in Safeco.
Yeah.
When he was fanboying and kind of touting how good the Jays were, I phoned in to the radio station as a angry Mariners fan, and I was cut off.
Right.
Because I was too angry on the phone.
I used to listen to.
And it's funny because we have Dave's on the show, like Dave, who his role is to stir the pot and get the listeners going. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
And then they go, oh wait a minute, and then it all works out like I said it was going to work out.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I know exactly.
My thoughts are usually not fun for them, but it's reality.
So Matt Sakaris is going on doing exactly what he should do to rile up Mariners fans. And I lose it. And I phone in like, put me on the line. I want to talk to them. I'm like, you should show some goddamn respect to this ball club. They won 72 games that one year. Anyway, that's my most embarrassing tale.
Right. I feel like this question is coming out of the fact that Brother Jake is no longer doing his morning show.
Yeah, they didn't say he retired. He just said he's not on the air anymore.
So he's still doing the show, just nothing's plugged in.
Effective immediately.
So yeah, kudos to.
They should do that to the president. Just give him a fake Twitter that just goes to a Word doc like Creed's blog that Ryan set up.
Take a drink every time we've mentioned Creed this podcast.
Creed Bratton is the new manager.
We'll wrap up this week's podcast because we're running. It's been a late one because of the awful service, delightful food when they don't screw it up.
I know, and people are trying to offer me jobs while I'm doing the podcast. I already worked today. Thanks.
None of that for me. So I'll do the part of the show where I talk to myself because and look away from all of you while I do the plugs, or I'll stare right in Dave's eyes.
I mean, they're beautiful eyes.
Make sure you follow.
They're so brown.
You can hear the
and
ocean,
framed by his dark, long lashes.
Make sure you follow us on Twitter. I can't do it. It's very emotional. Thanks. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. And fuck, I really can't do it. This is like that game you play on the podcast, like try to sing for real. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at pucksonetca or pucksonetcoff. And if you want to support the show monetarily, you can head over to patreon.com/pucksonet where you can pledge a couple of bucks.
There's
just
literally
a couple
nothing
of bucks.
uncomfortable about this at all.
And if you want, and that's the best way to give us some money to cover production costs. But if you don't want to give us money, which you don't have to, head on over to the iTunes store, rate and review it, leave a comment, leave 5 stars. That really helps us out. Helps us out against that awful algorithm. Word of mouth. Tell a friend if you see somebody on the seawall.
Wearing a Pucks on Net shirt, give him a high five.
Yeah.
That's right.
Wear that shirt in public events, in public places. Now we'll go into 5 minutes of paying, and then we can all get the hell out of here because I've seen a lot of you more so than I do on Mondays. So and that's not a bad thing, but it is.
Get in, losers. We're going shopping.
Rock, move, get on.